Hello, Javed sir. Welcome to India today. It feels good to connect with you after a long time.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
But first of all, I want to congratulate you on the exciting and intriguing thriller of Escape Life. It is getting a superb response online by fans and by the audience.
Well, that's good. I was hoping because we, at least myself, since the time we read the script, we were pretty sure that it's a very, very exciting project and pretty different from whatever we've been
Absolutely.
So it's something which is very relevant, identifiable, and it's something which I think needs to be spoken about, but not in a lecturing kind of way. And what I like is it's a thriller, it's a story, but the subtext is like kind of a semi-warning, like how cigarette packet ka hai, aapke liye hanikaarak. Could be. So.
Yeah. But so what's the best feedback or say the response that you have received from your near and dear ones regarding the trailer of Escape Life?
Honestly, after the trailer launch, I have personally not received, one call out friend of mine said, my family actually says like it's really good and it's really well mounted. So trailer is all about that it's intriguing, it's something which has elements of entertainment, it's scary, it's relatable, and of course the grandeur of the whole thing being shot from the various locations which we have managed, from Rajasthan to Banaras to some south of India to Mumbai. I think that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's what people look for, right?
Exactly. They look for all the elements in one show that you mentioned, all the elements that are.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, some are very specific, depending on the genre of, some could be in a house, some could be in a police department kind of thing, some could be. So this one is, because it's, the context itself, the story, the foundation of the story itself, about people in different places around the country. So that gives you the scope to go to those places without forcing it in, without forcing the grandeur in. It just flows with the story naturally.
Correct, sir. But sir, when you first offered the script of this series, what was the one aspect of the show that kind of excited you or intrigued you about the subject and made you say yes to doing it?
Well, like I said earlier, it was primarily the context of the show, what it's all about social media, about these apps which ask you to perform, and due to which a lot of people have huge amount of complexes. All they're worried about is the likes and how many followers, and that's the whole thing. I think today is extremely relatable, and it has its pros and it has its cons. And the cons can get very dangerous. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the good and the bad of these kind of apps and social media interactivity via these apps. So that's what basically immediately attracted me. And then when I met the director, who's also the writer and the show creator, I saw the kind of passion and he had about this whole subject and how he was looking at it in very, very intricate detail. And that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed his passion and his, how gung-ho he was about wanting to make this. And for me, it's very infectious. I feel that if it comes into me that this man wants to make this and he wants me to be a part of it. And so there are two aspects. One is the subject which intrigued me a lot. And then I saw the passion of this guy, Siddharth. And he was like a young man, but like so focused, he knew exactly what he wanted. He had done his research. And he had the whole thing in his head, what he wanted, the set, the costumes, the light, how it should look. How the character should flow. So that's for me these two factors.
Absolutely. But also by the looks of the trailer, your character seems a lot different from the roles that you have played in the past. What I want to know is how much did you enjoy doing this character and how well could you relate with it?
Oh, well, to relate with it, see, I have been a part of advertising since 1980, 81. So I've seen the ad agencies, then of course I saw the television satellite channels, how they keep up the corporate structure, the CEOs, the creative heads and the CEOs and the business of it, and then the OTT. So we understand the pressure on the corporate heads. And for them, it's all about meeting up with the numbers, matching the numbers. Target. This is the target. We have to achieve this by the end of so many months. And I've seen that in people I've known, and I know an immense amount of stress and strain, and sometimes a lot of compromise. Which, and in this case, in this particular show, there is a moral dilemma. Does this work? Are we pushing these kids into a territory which can get? But at the end of the day, it's the numbers, and it's the people who are above the corporations, who are the funders, who are the finance elements of these big corporations. They just want to see the numbers, the so-called board of directors or whoever the financing partners are. So I think that is something I relate to in my character. So he is like a pawn in the system, but he is like somewhere up there. Like he's not right on top, but he's just maybe one step or two steps below that. And the pressure he's under to perform and deliver. So that I identify with good. There's not much of me in that, because obviously I've not been into that zone, and neither am I. But I have seen it, so I identify it. For me, it was something which I could see people I have seen in my life, because for me, I do that. All the people you've met, and for me, it's like a data bank. We've collected so many kinds of people, the behaviors, and that's there. And somebody just said, okay, this guy from that agency, or from that organization, the attitude. So it kind of, that's what, as an actor, that's what we do. We just put stuff like, it's like you're looking at something that's what I eat all the time. So when you're cooking something, you put some of this behavior. So that's exactly what, as an actor, I would look at how I do it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But also, in your opinion, do you feel the short video apps and the long form video apps kind of drive the youth crazy to an extent where they escape from the reality?
So that's the name. That's why the name escape. It's all about an escape. Somewhere. It's not just escaping for everyone. For some others, it's just wanting acceptance, wanting fame, wanting money. So it's not just an escape. For some, it may be an escape. For others, it's just the greed for more attention, more money, more fame, whatever. So, so that's how I personally look at it. And that's how these apps are. And that's why I say they take sometimes. And if you look at the statistics, especially with the millennials, not so much the Gen Z. The Gen Z, which is people who are born like 98 onwards till about 2010, they are in a world where they've been born with this thing in their hands. They've been seeing it since they were like 1 year, 2 year old, and they identify it. And their attention is, they can't look at real life. It's like, that's all they see. And because everything is so fast moving, you keep changing it. For them, it's very difficult to sit and watch a sunset, or just watch the ocean and the waves coming and sit by the seaside and just chill and watch and relax and enjoy. No, they can't, because they need things to change so quickly. And what happens, also the acceptance, the followers, the likes, and there's a whole rate of huge amount of depressions in this age bracket. And there are like the suicide rate, especially among the girls in that age, have gone up by 56% or something. I was reading the statistics. So it's quite it's something worrisome, yes.
Yeah, something scary.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but sir, this is a hypothetical question. What kind of video would you create on the fictional app Escape Live to win rupees 3 crore?
I see. I'm not cut out. Like first, if you ask me what I would do, I'm not. I am not somebody who wants to compete with other people on this level and say I'm better than you, or I want attention to myself. Yes, maybe if I was, for example, a very, very good budding dancer whose talent is not seen, maybe I'm somewhere and I feel more people should watch what I do. I'm good, and I just want to show my talent. So I would probably compete from that level. So whether you're a singer or a dancer who's not got the opportunity to expose your talent to people, and you feel maybe this will connect me to some people who may put me on the next level. So I think for me that would be the inspiration to go ahead and get involved in something like that. I wouldn't do it so much, okay, unless of course, like you said. But you asked me a specific question, what would you? So yeah, probably I would create. But for me, it's like I make statements. I observe and I look at socio-political what's happening around you. So probably that's what I do, or create some crazy choreographed things which could kind of with the choreography say or make a statement which is relevant to what's happening around.
Yeah, absolutely. But sir, out of all the scenes that you shot for Escape Life, which one was the most challenging for you as an actor?
Okay, there was a scene where we have come at a point to a moral dilemma, which I can't reveal obviously right now. And that's where a bit of my humanity comes through, that I have my own problems. Like you just see me as a corporate head, but I'm carrying my own baggage. I have my own demons to deal with. It's not that I don't care about what's happening up there, but when push comes to shove, my first responsibility would be for my family, for who I provide.
Mm-hmm.
So in the sequence of things, or in the importance or relevance of what is more important, yes, that person is important, but more important is my family.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have to choose between the two, so I think that was the scene where it was pretty intense, and hopefully it's come out well. But yeah, for me that was a pretty challenge.
So talking about your career, you have done phenomenal work throughout the years, and you have played characters which are diverse and across various genres. What I want to know is, which genre do you personally enjoy doing the most?
I enjoy thrillers. I enjoy social social comedies which speak about, like Raju Hirani makes. So Raju Hirani makes social comedies. He'll take an issue and around it he will make a beautiful film.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, yeah, I identify with that kind of cinema the most, where it's what you see around you, and based on that, you put a story together, and you have a point to make without lecturing. So I think that for me, that's my favorite kind of cinema. So in India, like I would say, Raju Hirani, my favorite genre of films. And also, cinema has to contribute to society. So if something is happening around it, so now, for example, you see in the country, there's a lot of things that are heated up. So cinema has to contribute to dousing this fire, to go and make things work for people, not fuel the fire. So I think it's a responsibility of cinema, looking at whatever's around you. And so that's what I feel, the kind of films, you have to be conscious of what's happening around, and not to run with the tide and say, okay, fine, this is what makes money now. Let's do it. Let's fuel the fire. So for me, yeah, without going into any detail, but I just feel that yes, it's a responsibility. Yeah, what were you asking?
Yes, I was asking today, when you look at your journey in retrospect, how would you personally describe your journey that has been in the films and OTT space?
Well, it's a wonderful journey. I had all thanks to the Almighty. I've been blessed. I've been lucky to have received so much of love and admiration. I've got some really interesting work which I have done. So I felt sometimes you regret a few things, but don't let that regret hold on to you and put you down and weigh down. Just learn and say, okay, fine, I made a mistake somewhere there. Well, let's move on. But what's happening right now, it's the moment. What can you do best with the moment? So yeah, I think I like nearly 38 years of the films. Yeah, nearly 30 years. So that's a while. So yeah, it's been really half my life. More than half.
Yes. Also, so a while ago, you kind of hinted at doing Takeshi's Castle 2 that is coming up. I want to know, are you really doing it? I mean, fans, I personally have grown up watching the show and loving your commentary. I want to know, are you coming back with it?
See, I haven't been approached. I would love to do it. I love that show, and I put a lot of myself in that show because it was a character. It was me as Jaaved Jaaferi reacting. So it was me. It was not some character I was playing like in a film. So, and that's the beauty is that what I did. There are so many millions of people who connected and liked what I did. So I feel like, okay, fine, there are a lot of people who are like-minded, who enjoy what I enjoy. And so for me, it would be like, I would love to do it. Whoever is doing it, hopefully, hello, are you hearing me? I would love to do it.
Hopefully the makers are hearing after watching this interview. But as a public figure on social media, so how do you handle all the love that comes your way and at the same time, certain criticisms that you get?
Yeah, so how we've gone to town. People who couldn't even approach you would have to stand somewhere in the distance and say hello. So, and a lot of sadistic pleasure derived by these people, and a lot of hate is there. I don't know how it's connected to what, whether it's some people who are connected to a mindset and an organized mindset, and they're trying to create this us and them. But yeah, you will always find these people, and they're part of that. But yeah, being a sensitive person, being an artist, artists tend to be sensitive. Yeah, it does, bother you. And sometimes I just switch off. I don't want to be there. I don't want to see that, the negativity and the hate. I want to be, what is right, either you speak of what is right and then stand by it. But it's a whole process. And being an actor and you're doing other things which require you to be so involved in the characters you're playing, so it's very difficult to maintain that calm and composure while you're doing so many other things because your job is to become other people.
Yeah.
That's what you're paid for, to become a character, and your job is that. So it's very difficult to keep looking because if you're doing the other normal job and you're an activist or you're doing something online and making your comments and saying things, that's what you do. But for me, it's like I have to do so many other things. Sometimes it bogs down. You become emotionally heavy and you don't want to carry that baggage. But you do make your point when you want to. Sometimes it's very important to speak up. So,
correct, sir. But also, sir, what was your advice to your son Mizan when he decided to, follow your footsteps and enter the world of films?
I never intended for him to come to the industry. I don't think even he intended. I think somewhere when he was 11th, after the 12th, that's after the 12th is when he started thinking maybe I could be in this business. But I wanted to do something beyond this because this is like where naturally done. Father and grandfather father I should come on and come back. I said, I wanted to stay away. I said, do something else. Something in the parallel world, could be business, could be whatever field technical. And then if something pulls you back into this, is different. So I originally I said, okay, what do you want to do? He says, I'll do business. So he was into what we call liberal arts, so he could choose the line. And he was intending to go further in business, but in the first year in college in America, he did too well. He just realized that he's not cut out for this and he was happy. He was willing to come back and said, okay, I'll come back in India and do something. And then I asked him, I said, what would you like to do? He said, can I do film? I said, okay, but don't do acting.
Yeah.
Don't do acting do film as filmmaking as a whole. So he agreed to that and he went to the School of Visual Art, which is a very, very niche, respected school.
Right.
Accepted it. And he was, after the first year, immediately he was on a set with Mr. Bansali because his best friend from school, she was assisting Sanjay Bhai, and he was on the set. It's a whole long story, and Sanjay told me, "Who's that boy? Come here, what do you do?" And he said, "Well, I'm studying film." He said, "You want to make films in America, or you want to make films in India?" So my son said, "I don't think I want to be here. Don't waste your time over there. Come join me, be my assistant. I see a star. Come work with me, and maybe I'd like to take you under my wing." He didn't know he was my son. And he came to know later. And then I went and met him, and he said, "Well, I see your son. He's a star. He's got all the ingredients. So quite enthusiastic." I said, "Well, he's just studying. His first year is passed." So he was in touch with him. So he finished 2 years of college. And then Padmavat was happening. And Sanjay Bhai just told him and said, "Would you like to assist?" And he said, "Baba, this is an opportunity. Tomorrow, I don't want to regret that I had this kind of a right arm for this." And then I didn't want to hold on and say, just because I wanted him to complete his degree. But I felt if he feels that maybe मैंने कहीं उसका गला घोट दिया. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want myself to regret that. Oh, tomorrow you will look at me and say, "Baba, you didn't let me do this." So I said, "Well, that's where you feel your destiny wants to take you." My responsibility was to make the best of education, which I was. But I feel this is where you want to head. Fair enough. And then I supported him after that, obviously. So that's the story.
And he's your
my advice was always, look, for my wife and me, both of us, we said, we give you the best of education. We give you the best of foundational human values, which is what is your basic foundation, what you are as a person, what your values are, the way you think, the way you respect things, the way you look at things. I think that's the foundation. And everything else can come on top of that. If your foundation is not strong, then whatever structure you put on top is somewhere crumble down because it's shaky. Your foundation is strong, and the foundation is all the values and what is your moral values and I think these things. And your education. So I think all those things combined. So I said, that's all. The rest is you ask me something, I think you might advise on a script on how maybe to approach a role. But I don't interfere, I don't intrude. I said, if flow with the current where life is taking you, if your intention is niyat, what is niyat in Hindi Urdu? And it's like, niyat agar sahi hai, 100% mehnat karo, give me a full 100% of whatever you do. It could be for 500 rupees, it could be for 5 crores. If you've committed yourself, you give your 100% and don't look down at something that is small or big. If they're all the same, you give your best. That's all. That's my foundational value.
True, sir. But he's here and doing absolutely well for himself.
Yeah, he's here. He's got like 4 or 5 films lined up. So he's just finished one. He just finished one shoot with Sanjay Gupta, and he's got like he's starting back to back about 4 or 5 films. So by the grace of God, people will like him. It's all the audience acceptance. At the end of the day, as actors, you can do your best, and they say, "Nah, let's put it off." That's it. It's all the audience. They are what we said. Of course, there's the Almighty. I believe it very strongly, and that's not. But it's the audience who decides whether they want to see you or they don't.
Completely agree with that, sir. So before we end this conversation, I want to ask you, the current debate on social media is about Hindi not being a national language. What are your thoughts on it?
See, I don't know. I read a bit on that. And constitutionally, there is no one national language. That's what I looked at. And in fact, I was looking at it just now. Official Indian languages. The Constitution gives no language the status of national language. So I came across that. I was under the impression that Hindi is the national language. But I just looked it up and said the Constitution gives no language the status of national language. And there are 22 official languages. 22. Out of which Assamese, Bengali, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Maithili, Urdu, Sindhi, all these are 22 official languages. So, see, the point is unity in diversity. That was the beauty and is the beauty of this country. It's so many religions. There is no national religion. There is no national language. Yeah, we have a national bird, we have a national flower, stuff like that. So I think the beauty of this country is the assimilation of everything. And I think and no other country has that. I think that's amazing.
And that's the amazing part about India as a nation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But thank you so much, sir, for doing this conversation. It was such a pleasure speaking with you and knowing about Escape Live, your son, and your comments on and your thoughts on this debate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thanks, sir.